It's another episode of James Cameron 101. I'm your host, Eddie Green. Today, we have a very unique guest on the podcast. This is someone who, if you're not familiar with him, hopefully this will make you aware. You check him out on Instagram at Titanic fan _97. That's where you'll be able to find him. I found him through a mutual friend, Alexandra Boyd. She has her podcast, Titanic Talk. That's where I had heard rumblings of a collector that has an obsession with Titanic, but didn't really know too much. And then all of a sudden, Alexandra had him on and kind of opened me up to it. And I was like, okay, if I ever do a podcast, which here we are now, we're doing a podcast. Got to get him on because this is literally, I think, a world record. We're gonna talk about, if this is indeed a world record. I can't imagine anyone else has more copies of Titanic on VHS.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to James Cameron.
I almost bailed on being a filmmaker. It's about sitting in that big dark room with all those other people you don't know, and something's gonna come up on that screen that's gonna take you somewhere.
I'm the king of the world!
Here's the drum roll. It's JD.
Hey, what's going on, baby? Whoa!
There we go. Awesome. And we also got James Cameron behind you.
You know, we got the big JC and the big JD. You know what I'm talking about. It's Titanic.
All right. So, JD, that's your that's your birth name, yes?
That is, yes. Oh, yes.
When you so just right off the bat here, in case anyone's wondering, literally we did maybe about 30 seconds before we hit record. So this is I'm still kind of figuring out, I've seen other interviews you've done and everything, so I understand how you go about doing this. But my first real kind of question for you before we get into the Titanic stuff, when like a tax collector comes to your door, do you have this same personality when someone is like trying to, hassle you for your taxes or trying to sell you a Bible?
We only get excited about that Titanic on VHS, or if we're talking about Titanic, I mean, this is my element. This is my world and my king of the world right here. Right. Yeah, Jack Dawson, my man.
So if someone comes to your door and they want to sell you a candy bar, you're probably normal.
I mean, it depends on the candy bar, but most likely, if it's not Titanic, take a hike, buddy.
Now, if someone came to your door and wanted to sell you Titanic on VHS,
how much we talking?
How much we talking? That, I mean, I guess that's the question. What's your limit that you're going to spend?
Money-wise, I'm willing to go in debt for this collection. I mean, I will spend every last dime I have because I just love Titanic on VHS that much. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. So take me back to day one. How did this all happen? You didn't come out of the womb wanting to collect Titanic on VHS, right?
No, it came out after I was born. So yeah, I saw the movie back in '97 when it first released in the theaters, and actually got very sick during the movie and couldn't actually finish the movie. So we never saw the ending. So when it came out on VHS, September 1st, 1998, take the voyage home. We had to get a day one to check this thing out, and I just fell in love with the VHS, the double cassettes, cassette number 1, cassette number 2. I mean, it was such an iconic VHS set. They sold 25 million. Everyone had this thing at the time. It was Titanic mania. I'm sure you're aware. Everyone loved the movie. So yeah, I would watch it over and over and over again because we didn't have many VHSs, but the ones that we did, I mean, I would just play constantly. So it just became my favorite movie. I mean, James Cameron, Jack Dawson, Bill Paxton, Captain Smith, Celine Dion. It goes on and on. You know what I'm talking about. It's Titanic. I just love this movie so much.
Are you you're a bigger fan of tape 1?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, we watch this movie every day, but it's most likely just going to be cassette number 1 because Jack Dawson has all the best scenes in cassette number 1.
Right. Okay, so that's sort of how it all began. Now, this is a world record, correct? No one else has more tapes than you.
This is the world's largest collection of Titanic on VHS.
And right now you're up to 3,111.
Oh yeah. And
And
we're not stopping anytime soon.
you know, exactly. And so this is we're recording this June 9th, 2024. The podcast isn't even officially launched yet. So by the time people are hearing this, 3,111 is going to be way in the back. So
Oh yeah, we might have a few more thousand by the time this drops.
woo. So on average, how many packages are you receiving? Because you have a PO box, people can send you tapes.
Yeah, so we get an average of 1 to 2 packages a day. So we check it at least once a week, and then we'll get a whole bunch of packages, drop them off, and then we just keep on collecting and collecting. I mean, about 90% of my collection has all been donated through the fans. So it's we're very lucky to have this community of people just sending us Titanic on VHS. Otherwise, I couldn't do this all myself. I mean, we have people from all over the world sending it in, and I think it's just such an amazing community and experience to have people go out thrifting and having their own fun adventures, finding my man Jack Dawson on their own. You know, I think it's just such a fun little experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you posted recently about and I couldn't believe you didn't pick it up, the giant VHS Titanic at the Goodwill. Did you not pick that up?
Yeah, so a fan in Iowa actually sent me that picture. They said, I found this giant Titanic on VHS, and they didn't pick it up. And I said, look, I'll PayPal you the money right now if you pick that up. And they did. So they have it right now in Iowa at their house. And we're actually planning a trip to go pick it up, strap it on the car, and drive it all the way back to Florida. So it is purchased, and it will be in our collection very soon.
Wow. Wow. So you're like Christmas vacationing it. You're going to strap it onto the top of the like the Christmas tree.
That's the dream, the ship of dreams.
Jeez. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, man, like look, I'm a big Cameron fan. I love all of his movies. Titanic is, I believe, his masterpiece out of the entire filmography, but I can't like fathom as like, because anytime I go into a thrift store, you see at least 1 or 2 copies of Titanic. What you said, they made 25 million copies?
Oh yeah.
At least.
At least.
And does that does that include the widescreen edition and all the foreign releases that you're?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything on VHS that's Titanic. I'm talking, I mean, 25 million sold. I don't know how many they made, but just sold 25 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And seriously, anyone watching or listening to this, just take a trip down to your local Goodwill. You're guaranteed to find at least 1 copy of Titanic just sitting in a corner, you know, screaming to be sent to JD. And you have your girlfriend.
Yes.
She's your partner in crime on this. She's the one that animates Jack Dawson in the videos.
That is correct. Yes. She's
And
more behind the scenes, and yeah, she likes to wave him around.
And I saw on Alexandra's podcast, she was also included, but did we ever see her identity, or was that hidden for the whole podcast?
That was hidden. Actually, she just did a face reveal. It's not out yet. We just did a documentary with Ripley's Believe It or Not. And this is going to be the first time anyone sees Miss T. And, you know, we're very excited about that.
Including yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, you've never seen her. You've never seen her.
I've never seen her, so I'm pretty excited.
So, okay, my next question is, and I made sure that we had to have him because you told me I'm not going to be in the museum. Is that okay? I said, that's 100% fine because people can go on your Instagram. They can see that. I needed to make sure that we had the guy, the man, the myth, the legend right behind you there. Where the hell did you get him? Because that is incredible.
Yeah, so there's a store online. I searched up James Cameron cutouts, and there's only one place that has them. I can't remember the name right now, but yeah, if you search it up, James Cameron cutout, there's only one in existence right here. And of course I had to get him because I'm like, I need James Cameron in the building. I mean, this man made Titanic on VHS. He is the legend, you know, why is he not included? So I'm so psyched to have him right here. I introduce him to everyone as well when they go to the museum. I'm like, this is the creator right here, James Cameron. Right. And it always gets a good reaction.
Right. Now at the top there, so we have James Cameron behind you, and then to the top left of you, it would be your left. What are we looking at? It says Titanic. Is that like a board game or?
Yeah, so we have the board game up here. It's kind of
Okay.
an older board game. We have Titanic on VHS, cassette number 1, cassette number 2, and then there's a package someone sent me of Jack Dawson's face right on the package.
That's insane. That is insane. That's oh my god. So right now, 3,111. The goal is to, from my understanding, you want to build the Titanic out of VHS.
Yeah, we're trying to rebuild Titanic out of Titanic on VHS with 1 million copies.
1 million now where is this going to, because you had to move your collection, which I assumed was in like a room of your house or something like that. You had to move it into another location, which is now a like a museum essentially for people to come and check out. But at some point that's going to even get too big for 1 million copies, right?
Yes, and this is why we're talking to Ripley's right now. We're trying to actually get our ship out of Titanic on VHS put into the museum, or at least a smaller scale of that.
Right.
Because yeah, it's going to be a lot of room. But obviously, we're very far away from 1 million. We only have 3,000 right now, so
Right.
this is going to be down the line. But yeah, right now we have 800 square feet right to work with the Titanic Museum, and even that's being filled up by the day. So it's yeah, this requires a lot of room. It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of
Yeah.
Titanic on VHS.
So I guess it's good because I was thinking, you kind of want to get the. I mean, obviously, there's probably gonna have to be some liberties taken to try to get an exact replica of the Titanic on VHS, but it's good that there's the widescreen edition that has the gold kind of,
Yeah, for
you
the
know,
smokestacks. Yeah.
right, right. So so that's taken care of, and then you of course have like the foreign releases. I don't know if you're going to include the foreign releases, like the Japanese one has like a white spine.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's interesting how you're going to utilize that. Do you have someone that you're working with to kind of work out how the schematics are going to apply to this whole thing?
So far, no. We want to make a blueprint to make sure that we know how to build this thing. Obviously, it can't be like the exact scale because the
Right,
Titanic is Titanic.
right.
So it's we have to work with what we got and make a blueprint for sure. Uh, so
God.
that's going to be down the line. Yeah.
Wow. So if you had to if you had to guess, like, so this is going to be the podcast. I don't know if anyone's asked you this. This is going to be the podcast where you guess what's the completion date if you had to guess.
For 1 million, I would say this time next year. Yeah, I mean, we are this close from Paramount hitting us up and having, their warehouses opened up with pallets of this stuff that they still have. I mean, I'm just waiting for the call or James Cameron to call to say, hey, look, man, I have a few 100,000 of them. Come pick them up. So, I mean, it's got to happen eventually, right? I don't know.
This time next year, June 9th, 2025. Do you think that they actually have like Paramount? Because like, do you think that they have like a back kind of room, I guess you could say, of unsold Titanic VHS? Do you think that actually exists, similar to Walt Disney's Frozen Head?
Yes, I believe in the legend of the pallets of Titanic, because James Cameron himself, I mean, this guy, he's a genius. Of course, he's going to have pallets of this stuff. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He knows this movie is iconic. What is his best movie of all time? I mean, let's be honest. He's got so much of this stuff just hidden away. I mean, where is it though? Where is it, James? I'm trying to find it.
Do you think he owns all of his movies? Like, do you think James Cameron owns Titanic on VHS?
On VHS, yes. He
You
might have a
do?
bigger collection than me, but he's probably just not, letting the world know yet. But he's got to have it.
He's got it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's so like, I don't know if you have the same kind of I don't know, I guess you could call it a problem. I can't I just can't imagine Cameron doing anything normal like how you and I are just like, normally going about our lives and whatnot. I can't fathom that. So even him owning a movie on VHS seems almost too human. He's so larger than life. Like, I just only imagine him ever making movies just on set all the time, like currently making Avatar, and that's it. So I can't actually imagine him owning a single movie on anything.
Yeah. Well, we all know he's got a strong passion and love for Titanic. So I think he does hold this movie near and dear to his heart. You know, he did the 25th anniversary and he was doing a bunch of press for that. I think he does still appreciate this movie, and there's no way he doesn't have the VHS. I mean, come on, buddy.
Hey, look, I would love to think he does. Like that would sort of be, that would sort of be a like a almost awakening, like eye opening. Just like if you were to like break into his house and you actually saw it like behind glass, like a first printing copy, like the very first one that ever came off the press, they gave to Cameron, kind of thing.
That'd be legendary.
Cool. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Okay, so Titanic is obviously your favorite Cameron film, but if Titanic somehow miraculously vanished from the face of the earth, right? What is your next? What's your next Cameron film that you're like into?
Next Cameron film. I mean,
that you would start collecting. That
I would start collecting. That's a tough one.
You don't have one?
Maybe T2, because it's still a T. We call it Titanic T. Yeah, I mean T2 is a classic. Let's be honest. Let's
right.
I'll probably do that one.
And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, his entire filmography is only T and A.
He knows what he's doing.
It's literally True Lies, Titanic, Avatar, The Abyss, Aliens. He only likes T and A.
James Cameron, John Connor, Jake Sully, Jack Dawson. I mean, he's got a little system going on.
He does. Well, maybe Piranha 2. Maybe Piranha 2 screws everything up. But
yeah.
Okay, so T2. I actually I don't know if you've come across him on YouTube. It's called T42, the Terminator 2 show. He's basically you, but for Terminator 2. He doesn't collect every single thing that he like finds on VHS, but he has a big collection of just Terminator 2. So it's basically
nice. Yeah.
It's just you, but for Terminator 2. So he's actually been on the podcast previously, but I was curious. Yeah, I was curious if you had ever come across him or like kind of just haphazardly.
No, I'll look into him though.
Yeah, T for 2, and it's a funny show. It's like a comedy show, and
yeah,
it all revolves around Terminator 2. But
nice.
Yeah. So Titanic. Have you seen all the other kind of Titanic adaptations and musicals and all that crap?
Not all of them, but I've seen a good majority of them. There's so much Titanic media out there. It's hard to get them all, but I do have a good collection of non-JCT MVs in the museum. So a lot of people send in the documentaries or like Raise the Titanic or A Night to Remember. I have a big collection of the 1953 Titanic with Clifton Webb.
Yep. And Barbara Stanwyck, right? Stanwyck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no Jack Dawson, but we do have them.
And that's like in a that's like almost in a clamshell thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get that one. I don't have that one, but I wasn't big into A Night to Remember. I don't know, just something about it. Maybe I'm too attached to Jack Dawson. I couldn't get into. I was like watching it and I was like, where's Leo? Like, where's Kate? Where's Kathy Bates?
Where's Celine Dion?
Yeah, like what the heck? And then, obviously it doesn't happen exactly like this, but anytime someone asks me what is that movie in comparison, I'm like, it just basically starts with them hitting the iceberg. Like there's no build up, there's no you
King
don't
of the
really
world.
like you don't really get to know anyone. It's just sort of people you don't care about, and so I do want to check out that what 53 one you said, the 1953. I want to check that one out, see if that one holds up. But yeah, for some reason, I think it is just Titanic 1997 is the ultimate. I can't imagine anyone else trying to. They've done mini series since then. I think BBC did a couple. I know there's one with Nev Campbell. It's like they keep trying to squeeze all this stuff out, and anytime I watch it, I can't not think of My Heart Will Go On.
That's the power of JC, James Cameron.
So,
oh yes.
Are you they actually just released as of today. They just Cameron did a interview talking about the Titan submersible that it like imploded about a year ago at this point. I don't know. Did you catch that yet?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, it's like on 60 Minutes. It's a whole new thing. It's just James Cameron talking about, 1 year later, looking at the Titan disaster. Would you actually get into a submersible and go down and try to see the Titanic? Would you brave that?
The only way I would do it is if James Cameron invited me.
Was on board.
And he was on board, because I don't trust anyone else. I mean, I saw his documentary about going down, and yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's
right.
the real deal. So that's who I trust.
Right. And obviously no disrespect when I say this, but you're not getting in a submersible with a video game controller.
No. I'll enjoy it on VHS in the comfort of my own home. That's the way I like Titanic.
Right. Yeah, like I've thought about it too. Like if that was offered to me, would I, money wasn't a problem. Obviously, that's the problem holding me back. I can't afford it. But if that was not the problem, would I get in a submersible and go down and see it? And my answer is the exact same one you just gave. Is James Cameron on board? Because if James Cameron ain't on board, I ain't going down. I'm sorry.
It's not worth it.
It ain't worth it. I mean, look, because one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to get to the bottom and you're going to see the Titanic and your life is going to change forever, and you're going to have James Cameron next to you with that, or you're going to die with James Cameron. Both of them work for me. Like, I'll take either or. Like, I'll die with James Cameron.
For sure. That's the way to go, actually.
Yeah, that is the way to go. Like, but with some random guy that I've never heard of, like, no, like that's so tragic. I mean, obviously I'm making light of it now. It's been a year later, but when that first happened,
yeah,
that was scary stuff. And then they were talking about how there's like a possibility of them being alive still. And Cameron was like, yeah, no, I knew immediately.
Yeah.
I knew immediately what it was, but check it out. It just came out today. It's him talking about it 1 year later. And, anything new with Cameron, I'm always on top of. So
does he mention Titanic on VHS?
I don't think he does. I don't think I've ever heard the words Titanic on VHS come out of Cameron's mouth.
He actually did one when the
Really?
25th anniversary came out. He talked about it for a second.
He said Titanic on VHS?
He called it the brick. He's like, the 2 cassette brick. And that's pretty much all he said. Because someone was asking him about it. And, that's as close as we got.
The brick. Okay, so obviously he's talking to the datedness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
How come not like Laserdisc? You want to I mean, obviously you I'm sure you have some Laserdiscs, but how come how come you don't want to build the Titanic out of Laserdisc?
Well, the Laserdisc wasn't as popular. You don't really see much of the Laserdisc when you go to the thrift stores. Right. I've actually never seen it at all. People just send them into me. But the VHS, 25 million, and everyone's donating it once DVD becomes more popular. So you go to the thrift store, you'd find so many of these things, and they're so cheap. No one wanted them. There was piles every thrift store. So we started just seeing like displays of them. And I'm like, if no one's gonna buy this, I gotta buy this. And that's kind of what started the whole thing. Is I bought a whole row of Titanic on VHS, and the thrift store was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then every thrift store we went to, if I found it, I would buy it. So we started just amassing, tens, and then at least we got to like 100, and I was like, I don't know what to do with all these Titanics right now. I'm like, because I don't, no one knows about it. I'm just collecting it for myself. Right. And then my buddy's like, well, why don't you start making videos about Titanic on VHS? And then I was like, I'll give it a shot. Like, I don't know, maybe. And then, the pandemic hit and I started making videos. I was like, all right, here's my collection. And then it just took off so quick. I don't know, it just hit the right time. Everyone, is at home on their phones. And then they're like, can I send you my copy? So I opened up the PO box. And, everyone just had this movie on VHS. It was just like the perfect storm. We opened up the PO box and all of a sudden we get hundreds of packages. We've opened up over 800 packages on the channel. And, it just doesn't stop. It's just, everywhere we go, there's someone with Titanic on VHS ready to donate it to us. And I don't know. Everyone has had this movie. So it's just the perfect way to get it. And it's so cheap. You know, this is a very inexpensive, common movie. So it was just right for us to amass them because no one wanted them, you know?
Well, which breaks my heart. Like, I don't understand. Like, I love that I love that it happened because it obviously can benefit someone like you who will take it all back, right? So you're gonna take, what's the expression? One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we're dealing with here. And but it breaks my heart that so many people give this movie away. It's sort of like, why are you giving this movie away? I understand it's on a dated format, but hold on to it. It looks great on a shelf. I don't know, I have maybe 10 copies, different versions, foreign copies of Titanic on VHS. And I love looking at them. I love, smelling them and everything.
Yeah.
I love doing the whole thing. I love like the whole ritual. Yeah, it just breaks my heart. But do you keep all the, like, cause I know you get like letters. Do you have like a box where you just throw all the letters kind of?
So we have a system called the Book of Jack. So we have 4 volumes, and their binders just full of letters and pictures that people send in. So we call it the Book of Jack. When you submit a Titanic to us, I always encourage people to write a letter for the Book of Jack. He will protect it. And that's kind of like the draw for people to send stuff in. They want to be in the book. And eventually we're going to print this onto a real like coffee table book and be like the Book of Jack, like the official like Titanic on VHS Bible. Like it's just gonna be like a nice little thing that people can get. And it's just our little system. I think it's nice to have like the fan letters and keep that, and it's like a nice way to stay true to what we're doing, to look back at, people like submit their numbers, like I'm Titanic number or whatever, or I started watching you this time, and this is from New York City. This is from Pennsylvania. So it's cool to see like where all the Titanics came from.
Right.
And, and people like leave their handles for their socials. So I shout them out, and, it's a nice little system.
What is the, if your memory can recall, what's the most one person has ever sent you?
So right now the record is 55 copies in one package. So
Can't imagine what the shipping on that was.
It's a lot. Sometimes I look at the shipping, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys are so nice. Yeah, because it adds up.
Because 55 copies is what, maybe $3. So, but the shipping is really where it's sort of like, oh my God. That's
so they count one Titanic on VHS as £1. So
oh really?
It's kind of a weird math system. So if I have a 15-pound package, I know there's 15 Titanics on VHS in there because I've been doing this for a long time. But some reason like one copy is £1, and I don't know how the math works on that. But 55 copies is 55 pounds, and that's got to be expensive,
That has to be expensive. So obviously your post office knows who you are. They know you very well.
Yes. I just actually had a bit of trouble with the post office. So I was saving. They just filmed the documentary on us, so I wanted to save the packages in the post office for like a grand reveal. So I didn't go for 3 weeks, and then I pull up to the post office with the camera crew. It's been 3 weeks, and then I have all these slips in my box. I'm like, all right, it's about to be good. Get up to the counter, and they said, yesterday we shipped every single one of your packages back to the senders because you didn't come in on time. And without any warning or anything, they sent everything back, which has never happened. So I don't know what happened there because they do know who I am. I do come all the time. They watch my videos, so I don't know why they did that to us. But yeah, I don't know what to do about it either because I did not complain. I was like with the camera crew, so I was trying to be nice, and I was like, all right, come back and deal with this. But yeah, I have to make some type of statement where whoever just sent me packages, which we had a bunch, is going to be sent right back to them. And which is bad because, you pay so much money for shipping. They send it back. You have to pay that shipping again if you want to send it out.
Interesting. That's interesting because so obviously because they're covering the cost shipping it back, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they? Well, first of all, why wouldn't they just hold on to them? Like that's the ultimate. Just that solves everything right there. But that is really messed up. If someone was like, I don't know, 10 pounds, like that's not even That's not even cheap. So
Yeah.
all these people have to send them back to you, because I'm assuming they're gonna want to send it to you again. So they're gonna, they'll probably happily pay it, again. But that's really unfortunate. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I feel bad. I'm like, because people pay now, like they pay with their time, and then they pay for the
Right.
VHSs, and then they pay with their time again to pack it, and then pay to ship it. So it's a big process. Whenever I ship stuff out, I know it's a whole process to get something, pack it
Yeah.
up, ship it, wait in the line. So I just feel bad about it, and I was like, you can call me, text me, email me, like something. I don't know. I've been going to the post office for 2 years, no problem at all, so,
Man. The only
yeah.
thing that, like, came out of that is, I mean, I guess if you keep it in the documentary or the whatever it is that you were filming, I mean, it's good drama.
It was a bit of drama,
Yeah,
just
good
because
drama.
yeah, I was kind of upset about it, but, we'll figure it out. But,
Wow.
yeah, usually, yeah, we go to the post office and it's, packages galore. I think they're sick of us for sure. That's probably why they did it. Um
Despite you.
just to spite us because yeah, it's very heavy. I know they come out with big carts and it's hundreds of pounds of Titanic sometimes, and they're not getting paid enough to do all that, I'm sure. So I get
Woo.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but that's wild. So, um, wow, like that's sort of rocked everything for me here for a second, because that's wild. That's wild. I didn't know that they could even do that. Really, like I really didn't know, because what you said, it's only a couple weeks. I didn't know that they could do that. I thought they would at least hold on to it maybe a month, or at least, just especially for someone. It's not like I just opened a PO box and I'm a first time customer. You're a dedicated, and like you said, they know who you are, and
Yeah.
it's so weird. That's
Yeah,
so
because
unfortunate.
yeah, when the first time, right when we opened it, I was checking. We were getting some packages, but like I was getting all these messages saying, "I'm gonna send you a package. I'm gonna send you a package." We go on vacation for about a month. I come back, go to the PO box. There's nothing there, and then I was like, "Oh well, I don't know what happened there. Maybe people are just saying whatever." And I check it again a few days later. It's locked, and I was like, "Why is the PO box locked?" And then I go back. I talked to the counter because they were closed when it was locked. So I had to go back when they were open. He's like, "You're a Titanic fan? We've been waiting for you." And then literally I had probably 200 packages behind the counter that they've been holding for about over a month. And they just did not leave a slip in my box. I had no idea they had all these packages. They didn't contact me. The only thing they could do was just lock my box. Um, so it's just strange how like that was acceptable, but me not going back for 3 weeks is like where they draw the line, where it's
Right.
like, okay, we're not going to hold these for. It's a huge, like it's one of the biggest post offices in our area. So I don't know.
Now that you're in partnership with Ripley, are you contemplating changing, like shipping, just like ship everything to Ripley?
No, yeah, we haven't really made any deals. They're gonna talk to some people to see if I can just put like a chunk of my collection in their museum.
Oh, okay.
Because in Panama Beach in Florida, they actually have a big museum shaped like Titanic. So it's kind of like a Titanic themed Ripley's, and inside there's a huge Titanic museum, bunch of displays. You can touch the cold water.
Right.
They have like a big water display piece with all the water coming into one of the rooms. So yeah, they went out there. We filmed like a big thing out there, but I'm trying to get like a corner of that piece to put at least like a bow made out of VHS. So I was like, you need something that like, something modern for Titanic. It's kind of weird to be like a modern piece of Titanic, but I think it's like we do have a big enough reach or people are interested. And obviously that's why
Absolutely.
they're filming us in the first place. I think that, having the VHS is so iconic that people would love a photo op with the VHS. It's just iconic. I don't I don't know.
It is. It is. No, I mean, it is. I mean, I know there's other people out there that are, and I don't know if it was like something that inspired you, but I mean, I know that people collect millions of copies of a bunch of other movies. Like I've stumbled across at least 3 or 4 other very specific films. I don't remember what the titles are, but doing the same thing you're doing. But I think what makes it unique on your part is this is one of the most popular movies of all time. It has such a huge fan base, and I think that's what's helping you versus like if you were
Yeah.
like, here I am, I'm collecting Big, Tom Hanks is Big on VHS, and I want to make a giant Tom Hanks out of VHS. I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure Tom Hanks fans would love that, but I don't know that that would have necessarily the biggest draw versus something like Titanic, which is universally really known.
Yeah, everyone has at least at some point in their life a fascination with Titanic.
Yeah.
Usually younger audiences too, or you're in school, you're learning about Titanic, and now you have a big interest in the ship. So it's very universal. We hit the right spot. I did not expect this at all when I first did this, especially with the PO box. I thought that was a waste of time and money. I was like, there's no way anyone's going to send me Titanic on VHS because the fun of it was going out to find it ourselves. So like that was kind of like getting us out of the house, going to thrift stores. Like that's what we like to do.
Right.
And then, yeah, I mean, it just kind of took off, and then all of a sudden all these packages come in, and I have tea dealers locally. So they find Titanic for me at like the flea markets and thrift stores around me. So we have like a deal going on, and they go and they scour the area for me. So it does kind of take the fun out because I can't find it anywhere now in my area. There's already like 10 people looking for me. It's hard to find. We have to travel far to get it now. Right. If we want to go to the thrift store and find it, we have to go on a road trip. But it's cool. We're cleaning the area out where it's getting way harder to find. It's actually getting more expensive too. I don't know if it's just the VHSs in general. They're getting more attention now. People want to buy them. But yeah, it's getting more expensive to buy VHS, VCRs. It's way harder to find CRT TVs. And, so if we find a CRT TV, it's always a really good day. We buy all of those up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree because I'll go to one store and the VHS will be 50 cents a piece. And then I'll go to another store and they'll be ranging anywhere from $3 to $5. I'm like, where's the universal, like, kind of thing, like, why can't they all just be $1? I'd be happy with just all $1, but
so there's certain people who know who I am and they'll have a Titanic on VHS for $20 at their store, just sitting there. And they're like, well, I know you're going to come in and you're probably going to buy it for $20. And I'm like, there's no way. I don't pay more than $5 for a Titanic on VHS. It's, right. There's so many of them, and we have so much already that I don't feel bad passing on a Titanic on VHS if it's too much money. I know I say I'll go in debt for this, but
and realistically,
I'm not paying $20 for a copy.
Yeah, no, I absolutely not, and you shouldn't. I mean, this also probably really took off because I found this. I wanted to have, for someone who doesn't necessarily, like, this is the first time they're ever meeting you. I wanted to have a really good photo. And this is, I think this was for the Variety article that was written up about you. I thought this kind of really encapsulated what the whole thing at the time looked like. Does it look like this anymore? Because this is like your old place, right?
Yeah, so that's a pretty small room, and now we have 800 square feet, so it's a lot more spread out. But we have way more Titanic on VHS now, so it's, we're trying to get back to that level. We're just not quite there right now, but it does look kind of similar.
That's wild, and I love how you're holding the Japanese release.
Oh yeah,
love that one, man. That one is so pretty.
Yeah, surprisingly, we only have one copy of that. I'm trying to get more Japanese copies, but it's so hard to get here in the States. It's I pay crazy shipping, but I don't know if we have a big fan base in Japan, but if you're in Japan and you have those copies, send them in.
Send them in, baby. just make sure you write "do not return to sender."
Please. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. Make that post office hold on to it. Damn it.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like I can't get past that. That's so unfortunate. Hopefully, if anyone's listening to this that happened to, they got the package back. Hopefully, they sent it back to you, because that's like you said, it's getting harder and harder to find in your area. You've literally taken up all the Titanic on VHS. So it's starting to.
And even people short on money will send it out to me, and I feel bad. They're like, I don't have the money for this, but I still did it. And you know, I'm very thankful for those people. Please don't do this if you can't. It's like, but yeah, it's just, unfortunate if they get their package sent back after doing something like that. So, but I appreciate all the people who do send it out. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were talking about the book of Jack is what you called it, right?
Yes.
The Book of Jack. It made me go, okay, you are 100% like T for two, because he is one of his goals is because he collects Terminator trading cards, he collects Terminator figures, all of this stuff that's Terminator 2, and his goal is to take like high quality photos of all of that, like in a studio or something, and put it into a book and have it
Oh,
like
nice.
Terminator Collected or something like that, I think is what he said he wants it to be called. So when you said that you have a book that you want to eventually have made, I was like, okay, you have to check out T for two. It's literally you, but with Terminator 2.
Nice. Yeah. I love the book ideas. So I think it's,
I mean, it is cool. It's a, like a coffee table kind of thing to just have, because I mean, I would buy it, I would buy it 100%.
I think that's the one takeaway after 10 years from now when maybe we're not doing this anymore. Maybe we hit the goal or,
Right.
whatever. That's something that'll always be something that we can cherish is like the book and just look back at the past and how cool all this was.
Now, thinking again ahead to the future, let's say this, like, as you said, like this is already really kind of, you have over 20,000 followers on Instagram. It's going to keep growing and growing, and more tapes are going to be coming in and all this stuff. You're hitting deals with Ripley's Believe It or Not, Variety featured you. If at some point your story gets turned into a movie, do you want Leonardo DiCaprio to play you?
I'd be honored if he wanted to play me. Yeah.
But he would have to get the laugh down.
Yeah, that's gonna be the hard part, but he can handle anything. So
I know it because I've seen him, scream and everything, but I don't think I've ever heard him do almost like a jokery laugh.
I think actually no, I'd strike a deal where I can play Jack Dawson in the Titanic animated series, then he can play me in my movie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because I know eventually they will make the animated series, and I definitely want a voice acting gig on that one.
Well, because they have literally in the next couple of months, August 29th, I think, is when it's coming out, because that ties into a special date of Terminator history. But they're releasing a Terminator anime on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's called
James Cameron or not James Cameron.
Well, it's just in the world, because he gets a credit for creating the world, but he has no involvement in it. It's just it's a anime. It's called Terminator Zero. So
okay,
yeah. So I mean, they're turning that into an anime. Maybe they'll turn Titanic into an anime.
I'm waiting on it. A lot of my fans, like a lot of the community, wants me to do some type of voicing for the Titanic animated series. It gets brought up a lot.
Really?
But it doesn't exist yet. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna say, like again, being real, I have not heard anything about this. So people are actually hyping this up.
I think they're trying to just speak it into existence.
Okay,
and I'm all there for it.
Like the people who are like petitioning for Halloween Ends to be remade. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah,
the last Halloween Michael Myers movie that came out.
Yeah, I think the internet, they speak stuff into existence all the time, and if there's enough hype, someone's gonna do it.
They do. Like that Sonic thing. Although I thought that was a ploy from the beginning. I thought they had that thing ready to go, like the second version of Sonic. I'm still
good marketing.
Yeah, I just thought it was good marketing. Like, make a crappy version, get everyone up in arms, and then release the good version, and everyone's happy, and then they'll go see it. So, but okay, so Leo's playing you. Who's playing Miss T? Is that Kate, or do you see someone else playing her?
Yeah, that could be.
Because again, we need Leo and Kate to finish their trilogy. They gave us Titanic and Revolutionary Road.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to opt out for her though and say Celine Dion.
Isn't she sick though? Like, isn't she like really bad in health right now?
She looks a lot better now. I don't know what happened, but recently she's popped out and she's looking back to normal. So I don't know.
Someone gave her the heart of the ocean.
Someone gave her the heart of the ocean, and she's looking good, man.
Good,
You know,
Cool, cool. But no, have you seen Revolutionary Road, and have you thought about collecting that on VHS?
I have not. Someone sent me like a giant poster of it and sent me on DVD, but I have not watched it.
That's you should. It's a very depressing movie though, so be in a really good headspace before you watch that movie because it'll make you really like depressed.
Yeah,
Not a happy movie.
it's not Jack Dawson.
It's not. No, it's quite literally the opposite of what we saw in Titanic.
Okay.
Where in Titanic they fall in love, this is them falling out of love.
Okay.
Yeah. So and
More
Kathy
for me,
Bates,
my man.
and Kathy Bates is in it as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
a reunion.
They got a whole little reunion in Revolutionary Road, which is why it's like if the internet wants to put anything out into existence, please give us the third DiCaprio, Winslet, Bates film so that we can have that trilogy of movies.
I'm sure it's coming. They know.
They know, man. They know. So we'll wrap it up here because we're going a little over 45 minutes here. Kind of where I wanted to keep it on this one. So what is like because I mean, obviously the goal is the VHS stuff, but let's say that does happen next year, June 9th, 2025, you're done, right? Like, can you even imagine what that's going to be like where you're like, all right, no more. Can you imagine that?
It's going to feel good. This is actually a lot of work. It's been like the most work I've ever put into any videos. I've been making videos for about 16 years. I went to a film school. I've made short films, and I've never put this much work into what I do creatively. It's every day I'm talking to people or stacking or editing, doing voice work. It's nice. It'd be nice to take a break, but obviously we're on the mission right now. We're not even close to the finish line. But I think once I do wrap it up, it's going to be a nice feeling for sure.
Right. Are you growing your hair? Like when you reach the goal, are you going to finally cut it, or are you going to cut your hair before then?
I was thinking about making a wig. I have a Jack Dawson doll right here. I just bought a new doll, and I was thinking about making myself, so it can be like me and Jack Dawson hanging out.
Oh, cool.
At the museum.
Okay.
Might be a little weird, but just an idea.
Just an idea. Also, I mean, I guess it would be weird, funny. You'll see where it's going here, but it'd be weird with the age difference. But maybe Weird Al could play you in the movie.
I would love that. I'm a big Weird Al fan, so
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
UH.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, white and nerdy, all that good stuff. Because like obviously, I think it's obvious to a lot of people. You have a lot of traits similar to Weird Al.
Yeah, no, I grew up listening to Weird Al. He's a big inspiration for sure.
Hell yeah. But yeah, man. Look, I hope that you reach the goal. Maybe not as fast as you want, because again, I know it's a lot of work. But once you hang up the cowl and the what is it called, the cape? Once you hang that up, right, and it's no more like the bat signal comes on and everything, and you can't go out and fight crime anymore. It's probably going to be happy, but then of course you're like, oh God. So hopefully it doesn't happen too fast, right? You want this to go on for years and years. Ultimately, I would think.
This it started off as a 3-year plan, and now we're approaching our 3rd year.
Wow.
So I wanted to do it for 3 years, and I can go another 3.
Another 3. How old are you, by the way? How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, okay. I'm 31, so we're right in that same ballpark. So okay.
Yeah, I can keep going, but I honestly, once this is done, I want to try to get into some voice work and do some cartoons.
Hell yeah.
You got to dream big like my man James Cameron. You know what I'm talking about.
Heck yeah. And speaking of that, are you excited for the next Avatar, or are you not really on the Avatar thing?
I'm a big Avatar fan.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped for it. Anything James Cameron.
Right.
I know that series gets, some talk, but it's so hard to build a world that feels believable. And to me, I think Avatar feels like he created a world, and that's not easy. And I do respect that a lot.
Hell yeah.
You feel like you can live in that world, especially like Avatar Land. Animal Kingdom Disney.
I was
It's
just
so
about to ask
amazing.
you. I was about to ask you. It's right up the road from you, basically.
Yeah, we went and blew my mind. It's it's James Cameron. I mean, this man's a genius.
Yeah, I used to live in Florida. Right now, I'm in Savannah, Georgia. That's where I live, right? But for the longest time, because I was born in Florida, so I've only been to Pandora once. But did you ever go to Universal to do T2 3D?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
God, I love that show. And I actually have a couple episodes on the podcast already I've talked to people that performed in that show and did all the stunts and everything. And it's such a underrated piece of Cameron's filmography that not a lot of people, I think, still to this day are aware that he even did. Because like when you watch Terminator stuff, people don't really mention T2 3D Battle Across Time. So
yeah, I mean, he did pretty good on that, and just to have James Cameron make a whole ride.
Right,
Oh,
right.
come on.
Right. And the one in Pandora is literally, that's the only ride I've ever been on that literally brought actual physical tears to my eyes. When you're on the Banshee and you're riding under the wave that's cresting.
Yeah.
God, that feels so real. I got off that ride and my eyes were watering because I was like, I flew. Like for the first time in my life, I was flying. I'm flying, Jack.
That's the power of James Cameron.
So, yeah, that's awesome that you're right up the road. Have you been to the Titanic Museum in Orlando?
Yes.
Is that one as good as the one in the Ripley's, or is it vice versa?
The one in Orlando is better. Just because Ripley's, it's not. It's more like facts. There's not a lot of artifacts.
Gotcha.
More facts than artifacts. But yeah. The one in Orlando, it has like the small piece, which is cool to see, like actual piece of the Titanic.
Yeah.
And a lot more artifacts, obviously. And then the Grand Staircase. I mean, you can't really beat that. And then my favorite of all time, the Iceberg Room. I mean, come on. I want that for my own museum, like a nice iceberg that you can touch and like you can see the stars. Like that's like the dream to have like a one of those rooms.
Right. And now the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge, they're getting the paneling.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you know about that. They're getting the paneling from the film. Are you planning on going there?
Actually, yes. I believe in about a month. I know they're opening. I think was it today? They're opening
pretty soon. Yeah.
Or it's next week. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm going in about a month, so I hope it's still open. I would love to check it out.
Yeah. I mean, if there's always there's always doubt in the back of my head over, is this actually, you know what I mean? Like, is this actually the one Leo and Kate were on? That will never ever truly 100% know. We can take words and authenticity and all this stuff, whatever. But putting that aside, I even if it isn't, I just think it's cool that it's that, you know what I mean? Because I think that's when it comes to Titanic museums, I think and rightfully so, I think they focus more on the real Titanic.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. But I love that they're now dedicating something to
the
film.
movie. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because the film is really important in making Titanic still go on. I think if the film didn't exist, I don't know that we would really have as much of an interest in Titanic as we do. It really is because of Cameron's film that it goes on still to this day. Because people tie it, to that, and then they're like, "Oh, this is a real thing." I can't tell you how many people I talk to that don't even know. They watch the movie and they're like, "Oh, this is a real thing. Like this actually happened." I'm like, "Yes, this is a real thing. This isn't. I don't know. This isn't Armageddon. This actually happened." So, yeah, it's wild. But look, dude, I could keep talking to you, and maybe you're always welcome back here on the podcast. I'm sure at some point I'll have you back on here, and hopefully Miss T, when she's revealed and everything, that would be cool to have you guys back on. But this has been a lot of fun. Seriously, one of the more fun episodes I've done of this whole thing. So I really appreciate you coming on here. I didn't know how wacky you were going to be. Honestly, seriously, I didn't know if you were going to be wacky the whole time. But you kind of toned it down, which is awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that. So
sometimes you can't, I mean, look, Robin Williams couldn't be on 24/7, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, but look, dude, thank you for coming on here. I do have, I'll just spoil it now for you. I've been collecting, I have 5 now, so I'm waiting till I get to 10. Then I'm going to be sending them to you.
Oh,
So
yes. Thank you so much. Yeah,
yeah, I've
hopefully they
been,
don't send that back once you
oh
send
no,
it.
dude, I'm going to write big Sharpie. I do not want this back. If he doesn't come, give it to Goodwill. Something like that. But yeah, no. And I didn't know that you collected the single tapes. I thought you only collected the full package, because I've come across some in Goodwills that are literally like cassette 1. And I'm like, well, I can't get that because it's not the complete set. But you collect even just 1 cassette, right?
Yeah, so we have about 22 extra cassette number 2s, so we're always trying to pair it with cassette number 1s.
Okay.
Um,
Sweet.
yeah, we get more cassette number 2s because everyone kept their cassette number 1. There's a very spicy scene, I think, that people enjoy in that one, so it's harder to find.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think because I just did this. I went there the other day. What was I think it was cassette 2. I think it was cassette 2. Now that you actually say that. And I was like, why cassette 2? Like I was always a bigger fan of cassette 2. I don't know. Personally, me, I find that to be the more exciting part of the film, but that scene is very exciting as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
because Jack Dawson says he's the king of the world, and that is a spicy scene.
that's a super spicy scene. Absolutely. And the folding of the napkin.
Yes.
Oh, woo, watch out. But I'll be sending those to you. I don't know when. I'm waiting till I get at least 5 more because I feel like 5 is not worthy. So, but thanks for coming on here, man. Any last words? And then we're gonna get the heck out of here.
Titanic on VHS.
Now go watch Titanic on VHS.